The Permian Extinction, also known as the Great Dying, happened almost 250 million years ago. It is one of the most massive extinctions to ever happen on Earth. About 95% of life was lost, including 90% of marine species, 70% of land vertebrates, and 30% of insects were killed. The Permian introduced the supercontinent Pangaea. The formation of the supercontinent created massive mountain ranges, vast amount of desert dry land, and swamp regions that were powdered by extreme heat around the northern regions and the equator. Also, the southern area of Pangaea was cold and dry, covered with ice sheets, and along the coast was covered by shallow water and a deep ocean depth. Because of the rapid changes of the biome and atmosphere, it led species to forcefully adapt and to evolve to suit the new living conditions. The species that were unfit for the new environment died out. The dominant species during the Permian were mammal-like reptiles called therapsids. They had the ability to keep themselves warm for cold nights by preserving heat made from breakdown of food. These mammal-like reptiles had hardened skin and were able to retain moisture, which were ideal for the extreme heat. The therapsids thrived during the Permian and were rapidly evolving into different varieties and sizes. Unfortunately, the dominance came to an end. A devastation occurred, and bringing life almost to an end. It was believed that all life on Earth was almost wiped out by asteroids, but from research there was a more prominent theory. Because of the rapid changes of the environment, it destabilized the ocean floors and activated the Siberian Traps. The Siberian Traps is a large mountain range with volcanic rocks in Russia. Because of the quick changes of the environment, it upset the Siberian Traps and forcing it to erupt and explode. The Siberian Traps eruption did not essentially wipe out all species on Earth, but it was mostly the aftermath of it. The volcanic activities from the Siberian Traps released excess amount of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide can trap heat in the atmosphere by absorbing in the infrared radiation from the sun. This led to global warming, where the global temperature of Earth back then was risen by 6 degrees and the ocean reaching 36 degrees. The Siberian Traps released so much carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, it overshadowed the oxygen and causing the conditions to be intolerable for living species that thrive off oxygen to suffocate and breathing in air that is making the blood levels acidic. Because of the Siberian Traps, it also caused ocean acidification, where the ocean absorbed in 1/3 of the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and then it turns into carbonic acid, which further acidified the ocean and dissolves the shell and reef animals. The dissolving of the sea species produces more carbon dioxide, which then returns back into the atmosphere and furthers global warming. Global warming also made the ocean anoxic, which means loss of oxygen and causing oxygen to be less soluble in the water. The oxygen levels in the ocean dropped drastically and would have killed the larger sea creatures that need oxygen to live. This also led to another greenhouse gas to be released into the atmosphere, hydrogen sulfide, which damaged the ozone layer and caused acidic rain that killed animals and plant species. Also, the warming of the ocean also released another greenhouse gas called methane, which is more deadlier than carbon dioxide. The warmth of the ocean melts the frozen crystal structure at the sea floor and releases massive amount of methane into the atmosphere. This is also known as methane burps.
Methane is able to trap 30 times more heat than carbon dioxide, with all the greenhouse gases being released into the atmosphere such as carbon dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, and methane. It further promoted global warming, which increased the overall global temperature by 6 degrees, melting the Arctic regions, and making the ocean more acidic and killing 95% of life. Today, life is starting to resemble like what it was during the Permian, but not as extreme as it was. As if today, we are burning fossil fuels that is releasing carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. We are contributing to global warming, ocean acidification, and animals becoming more extinct. Every day, we are damaging the Earth just like how it was during the Permian. From our everyday lifestyle, such as driving to work, from getting to point A to B, and even cutting down trees, releases greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Today, we should take the Permian extinction in as a lesson for us to learn that greenhouse gases can lead us to an unpleasant future where life could come to an end. Every year, we release about 400 parts per million of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, and it is increasing by 2 parts per million every year. During the Permian, the carbon dioxide levels were around 1,400 parts per million to around 3,300. We should take this in as consideration, as our modern lifestyle today is heavily reliant on vehicles that burn fossil fuels. We should change our way of life, such as taking an alternate way to work, or take public transport, or use renewable energy like solar power at home. Save electricity, such as using low efficient appliances and unplugging them after not using them. The Permian extinction was a disastrous event that took place 250 million years ago, killing 95% of life on Earth and forming harsh conditions of acidic warm ocean, hot unbreathable weather, and melting of the Arctic region. The greenhouse gases that came from the Siberian traps caused global warming and increasing the global temperature by 6 degrees, and then created a cycle of natural gases being released from the ocean such as carbon dioxide from ocean acidification, hydrogen sulfide from ocean anoxia, and methane burps from the bottom of the ocean, almost ended Earth. Today, we should take the Permian extinction in as a lesson, so we can take matters and change our lifestyle to moderate global warming.